Hi, and welcome to episode 25 of the Cat Lady podcast. I am Andrea, the Cat Lady. That's 2T's, CATT, craft, all the things. Welcome back if you are a returning viewer, and if you are new, hello, it's good to see you. Well, see you. Thanks for watching. I talk mostly about craft. I talk mostly about like knitting, spinning, and that kind of thing, but I like to dabble in crochet and cross stitch, and there's a little bug flying around here, and a lot of DIY stuff, and sewing. I do sewing too, so that's why I consider myself craft all the things. So thanks for tuning in. I hope you like what you see. This week's episode will cover, I've kind of been trying to change formats a little bit here, but this week I'm going to talk about, and in this order hopefully, knitting, sewing, DIY, spinning, a little bit of stash, and then my weekend review. And it'll go in that order. I'll have little breaks. So I've been trying to kind of set it up so that if there's a part you aren't really interested in, you don't want to watch, you can kind of skip over it and just watch the sections that you like. Especially since I do have a lot of things to talk about. It might run a little longer than I'd like, but we'll see how it goes. First off, I will say you can find me on Ravelry, Instagram as the Cat Lady, and also Periscope, which is the new trendy app that you can take live broadcasts with. I've done a couple, but I'd like to play around with that more. My goal right now, a little tangent here, but I'd like to do they have the Work in Progress Wednesday. That seems to be the little craft trend, so hopefully every Wednesday I'll at least do a broadcast with what I'm working on, so Work in Progress. And I don't know how else I'm gonna incorporate that into the podcast, but it's a fun little app. So if you're not on that, check it out. And you don't have to broadcast, but you can watch everyone else's. So it's kind of fun. It's linked to your Twitter, so if you have a Twitter account, it's easy to sign up. So I'm also the Cat Lady on Twitter, but I don't really use Twitter actively. So I have a Facebook group and a Ravelry group, so you can search for those. All the links are always on my blog, which is thecatlady.blogspot.com. And that is also where all the show notes will be. So I will try my best to list all the pattern names and what I'm using for the patterns here when I'm talking, but if you need to reference it later, you can check in the blog. And of course I try to keep my projects up to date as far as my knitting projects on Ravelry, so you can always find that out there. So this week we'll start with podcast news. I don't know if I said that, if I just went, I said knitting, sewing, whatever, but podcast news is always first. So this week we have a couple introductions. So if you're new and you want to come say hi, there's an introduction thread in the Ravelry group. Come and say hi and I will give you a little shout out. So this week I say hi to Knitting Mary B. So Mary, she grew up in Michigan and she's now in Brazil for her husband's job for 3 years, I think she said. So that's interesting. That's very interesting. So it'd be very interesting to travel for work. So sorry, something flew by my window. I'm not in my normal space. I had a lot of kind of bigger stuff to pull around, so I'm in my dining room. Usually I'll be upstairs in my craft space. So that is why we're different today. But she told me how to pronounce the shawl that I'd like to work on, and that I keep hearing now and then, but I kept calling it the viajante, and that kind of sounds French, but apparently it's Portuguese, and it's viajante. And I did a Google Translate and listened to the lady pronounce it, and yeah, so it's kind of a chi. It was like either a chi or cha, kind of a cha at the end. So viajante. And it's Portuguese for traveler, and I think that's a really cool name for that project, because, I don't know, it's this big, I'll post a link to it, of course. It's by Martina Bem. She also does the Hitchhiker Scarf, which is, everybody knows that one, so, but it's a really big, like, it's kind of a poncho. You can wrap it like a shawl or a scarf, kind of. It's really cool. It's made out of like a lace weight, fine fingering yarn. And my friend Jen gifted me the pattern. She's the Young Creative Crafter podcast, and I'd like to cast that on and start that. So it's a pretty cool pattern. So I need to go purchase the yarn for that still, though. My goal is just to get some yarn from Michael's. They have the loops and threads wool-like that's really soft, and it's a very fine fingering weight, so it'd be perfect. So, and it takes like 1,000 yards, so I'm gonna need 2 or 3 of those. But that was thank you, Mary, for the clarifying that, because yeah, I had no idea how to pronounce it. Should be in the pattern. There should be that little phonetic spelling in the pattern, because I'm pretty sure everyone pronounces it wrong. So, and then our other intro is from Phil Cabzi. I'm sorry, I always mutilate everyone's username because, yeah, I can't read. So this is Melanie from Montreal, and she came over she heard about me through Sarah, the Canadian knitter. So thanks for stopping by, Melanie. She has 2 cats, 1 Maine Coon, which if you've seen a Maine Coon, they're like small dogs. They're like giant cats, and they're awesome. I love them, and they're just cool cats. She's a knitter, crocheter, and she hopes to learn to spin. So that is all I have for introductions. And we have a giveaway going on. You have to be a member of the Ravelry group to enter the giveaway. It's our 100-member giveaway. I reached 100 members on Ravelry as well as YouTube, which I'm now, closer to 150 on both, I think. But I was waiting for my other giveaway to end. But I have the prizes to show. There's a picture in the thread, but I have some things to explain. But to enter the giveaway, you need to enter the thread, 100-member giveaway thread, and you need to tell me one thing that you like and one thing maybe could use improvement. I won't say something you don't like, but something that you think I could do better. And I'm kind of working through them, trying to make this the best experience for everyone. So all you have to do is enter and tell me what you like and don't like, and I will be drawing a winner through a random number generator closer to the end of the month. So I have 24 entries right now. It's a little skewed because I kept commenting on everybody's stuff, and then I went back and deleted them, but it still kept the post numbers. So I thought it would, so when I do the random number generator, if I land on a number that's not there anymore, I'm just going to have to keep generating until I get one. But we have 24 entries. I'd love to get more. We have 100 members, so I'm not expecting 100 entries, but it'd be nice to get a little more. But here's what you can win. I'm thinking of giving the winner a choice between either, and the one in the picture is the blue one, the blue-green one. So I'm kind of far from the camera, so hopefully you can kind of see what that is. But this is Fashion Toes, 90% superwash merino, 10% nylon. So pretty nice. So either a choice between the greenish blue or the burgundy. It's like a wine burgundy color. So that is the plan. So if you win, you can pick either 2 or 2. And they're both 50 grams, so enough for a pair of socks. And then get a set of stitch markers from Sue, who is the Tangled Skein. She is part of the Two Tangled Skeins podcast. So, of course, I'm like, I don't know if you can see those. You can see the picture that I post in the group, but there's just a set of snagless stitch markers, and they're kind of a bluish, purpley. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of them. So that is that. And then I'm saying, this is like the custom giveaway, kind of. So I'm thinking custom clip or magnet. I can put a magnet on the back, but any reasonable request. I usually make bows. I can make any kind of fruit. Any pixel art that's like, about this size. And we can work on a custom little perler clip or magnet. If you've seen anything that I haven't worn them in a while. I've been really bad, but if you've seen them any in the past that you've liked, or if you like the strawberry, then strawberry. But we're saying custom, so. And then it's gonna be limited, but a custom bag. It'll be limited to whatever I have still fabric-wise. And, I can go over, we can just discuss what colors you like, Do you prefer a solid, just one solid color, or the two-toned? And we can work on it. This one is actually for someone that I still haven't sent out. And I just grabbed it for the picture because I really wanted to get a picture of what this prize pack was going to be. So a bag. So we'll determine the details on what kind of bag. And last but not least, a lovely piece of maple candy that was donated by my friend Mandy from Vermont. She lives in Vermont, so she has access to this all the time, and this stuff is amazing. So, and it's in the shape of Vermont, and then there's a little one of a maple leaf. If you've never had maple candy, it's like pure awesomeness. So it tastes like it just melts in your mouth. It's pure sugar. It's glorious. So she sent me a box that I already ate. So this was for the giveaway. So that was very nice. So that is, I'd say that's a decent prize. You get yarn, bag, candy, clip, oh, and kitty. So a little kitty goes in there too. So this is Beans the cat. That's the name of the pattern. I call him the cat lady mascot because I try to send one along whenever I send out a package. So that's my little Beans the cat. No, I should like embroider the cat lady across it or something. But too much time. So that is podcast news. On to knitting. So I haven't done a lot of knitting this week actually, so it was a interesting week. It was Emily's first week of school, so I'll be talking more about that later. So last time I believe I showed you my finished stock. I still haven't weaved then. So there's the finished. This is paw tracks. I use size 1 US 1s. And this is the Deborah Norville Serenity sock in hot pink. It's not hot pink. It's baby pink. It's like not hot pink. It just drives me nuts. This is my neat little DPN holder from Mandy, who also sent me the candy. So I need to make some of these because these are cool. But I don't even remember where I left off last time. Let's see if I wrote it down. I don't think I did. Let's see, last week socks. One sock finished. No, I don't know. I might have just started the toe. I think I had just started the toe. So I'm getting close to the heel. I need to do 6 of these. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm almost done with 5 repeats. So I got one more repeat and then I can do the heel. I did screw up on one of the paws, but I didn't really feel like it was worth it to go back, so. But it's coming along. I'm kind of ready just to be done with these and move on with my quest for the perfect sock, as I keep calling it. These, like I said, these are size 1s. My next pair is going to be on size 0s. And this is 60 stitches. The next one I'm going to attempt 64 on the 0s and just see what that does. And a lot of it I think is this pattern. It stretches funny. And the same thing happened with my daughter's tube socks. So I think it's just the pattern. It stretches funny around the part where your heel is, and because that's a pretty thick part of your leg and your foot and whatever. It's like where it all converges before your leg. So it stretches the pattern. It looks kind of funky, but I'm the only one who really keeps saying it because everyone else is like, oh my gosh, that looks great. So it fits better. It feels better. So that's good. So I'm curious to see how the 0 will, if I'll like that better. Even better. So experimental experiments. So that's living in my chevron bag. This was the first bag I ever made. And it's got a pocket in there that I keep saying that I don't like, but I certainly use it a lot. So it's kind of just, it's too far down in here. I would have liked to make it a little taller, but so there's a zippered pocket in there. But it holds all my like scissors and stuff. Even though I don't think my scissors are in there. They're probably not. Nope, they're out in the, not in the pocket, but. So that's that. I haven't really worked on my blanket. I don't think I added a square. And this week is blanket madness. No, she's just calling it blanket madness, I think, this week. And I just don't think I didn't even take my beginning picture because I don't think I'm going to get that many squares done. So But I did start, like I mentioned, I was going to do my, I can't show you this bag because this will come up in sewing. So I did start a second sock. I went to Joann's and picked up a pair of size zeros because that was like the one size I don't have. I have ones, ones and a halves, and twos, but I don't have zeros because I didn't think I'd ever need zeros. Seems awful small, and they are pretty small. But once you get started, they don't feel that much different to me than ones. So that's a toe. It's like 2 rows of a toe. So yeah, not much. But this is the zeros. I guess I'm going to increase to 64. So I cast it on 24. I think 12 on each needle seems to be my number that I go with. So I need to increase to, yeah, I've only done one increase row. So I need to increase to 64 and see how it fits, I guess. I'll kind of judge it at that point to see if I need to go any wider. And this is the Knit Picks Fleecy in the gummy bear. So, and I've been talking to a lot of people about socks because I've been telling you all that I want to make a good sock for my foot. And a lot of you have had some good ideas, and one of you guys, Megan Zeverl on Ravelry, she designs patterns and stuff too. She mentioned I should try cuff down, and I should try cuff down, but I love toe up construction. I love being able to try it on as I go. I like being able to just use up the yarn until, to the very end. I'm like terrified to cast on cuff down because I like a tall sock and I don't want to run out when I get to the toe. So yeah, so this one I'll do toe up because since I already started it anyways, and see how that goes. But I do need to work on a cuff down, and I do need to expand my horizons on heels. I don't really like the look of a traditional flap heel. I like the fish lip. I love the look of the fish lips kiss heel, so that's the one I do. And I need to experiment with that too. I don't know if I need to make it wider, if that'll help it. I have to, when I'm done with the second sock here, I'm going to really scrutinize the fit some more. And I don't know if I need to try, I could do a short row heel, see if I like that. I've not been very good with wrap and turns though. So it's like I'm nervous to try all these things, but I do need to expand my sock horizons. But first things first is maybe if I could find the right fit of the toe up with the fish lips kiss heel, if I could get the right numbers and make the foot, maybe I'm making the foot too long still. I don't know. I just don't know. So I'm going to start with that before I start incorporating other things, I guess, and different methods. But if I just can't get it to work, then I need to just stop and try something else. So that's living in a bag that I will show you later. And that's all I had for knitting. I just worked on that sock, the paw track sock, and cast on the, I had first swatched the Felici a little bit at 60, and it was a little snug, so then I just decided I don't want to swatch it again. I'm just going to cast on and increase to 64 and see how that goes. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. So hopefully I will finish, but first things first, I got to finish that paw track sock. I'm just ready to put that one in bed. I'm ready to be done with that project. And like I said, the sock fits better, so I will wear it, and I'll wear it with my daughter, so we have our matching socks. So that needs to be done though. So next up is sewing. I got some sewing done this week, finally, with the kids being in school. I finally had a chance to dust off that sewing machine and finally get the project that was sitting on the sewing machine for 3 weeks completed, as well as some others. So I made some bags. First thing, I finished Emily's bag. This was sewn together, but it didn't have the casing or the ribbon in it. So I sewed the casing and put the ribbon in it. So she was excited to have her bag. She carried it around all weekend. So we got little foxes on the bottom and some flowers, and the inside is just kind of a white spirally circles. So it's Emily's bag, so she liked that. And then the ones that I was looking forward to finishing, I got 2 of the comic book bags. This one's got red on the end, just kind of a red, blackish on the inside, and then this one has a black and white on the inside. The red, white, and blue strings, ribbons, and then these, which I'm very excited about, my Doctor Who bags. So we have Exploding TARDIS with just it says Doctor Who. It's the Doctor Who logo in the inside. And I got 2 of those, and those are identical. And this one's mine. And that's where my sock was living. My tiny, tiny, tiny toe is in there. So, with the nice TARDIS blue ribbons, of course. So yeah, I actually got 4 bags done in one session, which was pretty good. I mean, all the fabric's been cut out for a month, a month and a half, maybe 2 months. The fabric's been cut, so really it was all just putting it together and sewing it. So, because cutting it out, that takes a whole session in itself. So those are my bags. I'm excited to. I have a couple of Hello Kitty green Hello Kitty rainbow bags that are already cut. So that's next to get through the machine. And I have another spindle bag that I haven't cut. So I should probably sew that up too, because those are just sitting there. I'd like to try to make some of those DPN holders. But I don't have a snap tool yet, and I don't know when I'm going to be able to get one. So I'm trying to wrap my brain around, see if I can get that out, how to do it without the snaps. I was thinking I only end up unsnapping one side when I take the needles out. So really, the one side could just be closed, just be seamed. Because I don't really ever need to open both sides, because, you know, you open one side and they slide out. They slide out and they slide in. So I really just need the closure on one side. So I could get like a sew-on snap, which sounds like a big pain in the butt. Or I could tie a ribbon, but then would tying a ribbon open and close be really annoying? I thought I'd give it a try though, and see how it works. A hook and eye maybe. I don't know if that would close it or not. If that'd be tight enough. They make those little magnet closures I've used before that are relatively inexpensive, but again, I'm trying to avoid purchasing something at the moment. So I don't know. Something I have to think about, but I'd like to make at least one more since I'm starting the other pair of socks. And since I'm using double points for my blanket, I'd really like to have one for that. So actually that would be first, use it for my blanket, because stitches are constantly wanting to fall off the other side. So that was exciting. I got sewing done, and I got to get used to this new schedule with the kids being gone more, which it's weird. It's good. It's weird. I miss them, you know. So, but hopefully I'm gonna get some more crafty stuff done. Hopefully I can clean my house some more, you know, get some actual things done, laundry, take care of this place. So that was all I had for sewing. Next up is DIY. This weekend was the DIY weekend, so I'm very excited to have these things done. So I literally spent half the weekend DIYing. So Friday was supply day, so I met with my dad. We went to Lowe's and gathered all our supplies because we figured that would take a decent chunk of time. So, of course, I went back to his house and had beer and blah, blah, blah. Didn't get home till kind of late, so that took up my Friday evening. And then Saturday, I spent pretty much the whole afternoon doing some DIY. So first thing we made, well, we kind of made them simultaneously, but I will show you one at a time. Now, this is why I had to come out here, because the thing is kind of big. I really couldn't show it to you in my craft room. So we did the DIY Swift. There is a tutorial I followed. I will post it on the blog. But this thing works great. And I, of course, tested it out and caked up some of my fractal hand spun. It worked out just great. So here's the best thing too, is that these are adjustable. So yeah, you can use, let's see what the smallest size is while we're here. I didn't check the smallest size. The largest size this goes to is 74 inches, which is perfect because my nitty knotty, my biggest one that I usually use when I have a large amount of yarn to skein up is 70 inches, which is supposed to be 72, but it's a lot. My smallest one is 34 inches, so a yard. So let's grab my measuring tape here. I'm pretty sure this is going to be slow enough. So let's see what we got here. So we have 24 inches. So yep, it goes as small as 24 inches to as big as 74 inches. So that's plenty of size. Now here's the thing: we had a happy accident. Oh, and these kind of, you can fold these down so for storage. So this is how I will store it. Fold all these in, and then can just sit against the wall, which is what I'll do. But here is, okay, well, I'm not done talking about it, so I'll bring it back up here. But here is the happy accident. So the pattern that we followed, or the tutorial, called for 12-inch arms and 11-inch arms. So I cut out all the pieces, and there was just a kind of a lost in translation kind of between my dad and the pattern, I think. Said use the 11-inch pieces for the base. Well, he thought the base was the actual spinny part, when the base was actually, he thought like the base of the Swift part, not the base of the whole thing. So he attached the end caps to the 12-inch pieces, as they are here, and left the 11-inch pieces open so you could slide these on, and then started to assemble the Lazy Susan bearing that's in the middle. So then we get to the point where, and I wasn't aware of this at the time. So then we get to the point where the 12-inch pieces are supposed to go on top, and he reads that and he's like, wait a second. I thought the 12-inch pieces went on the bottom. So we had 11-inch pieces for the top, which were small, that's like, I was only getting like 40 inches around, which, okay, that's not going to work. Okay, that's not going to work. So he was like, all right, what are we going to do? And they're glued. Things are glued. You can't, and it was glued into this T-piece, the cross in the middle. I mean, it was completely useless at that point. So I said, okay, well, that's not good. So, but I'm thinking, okay, well, the bottom's 12 inches. Is it really going to make that much of a difference? Like, I mean, how much am I really going to get out of it then? If I'm only getting like 40 something out of the 11. So we kind of we pulled these out like as far as we could off the edge, and so to essentially pretend it was a 12-inch piece. So this little slider thing we just moved as far as possible, like, because there was no cap on it. So ideally it would have been 12 inches, and it came to about 60 inches. Okay, well that sounds better. But again, my nitty knotty is 72 inches. So we had to go get more PVC. And I'm like, well, I don't want them 12 inches. I want them bigger. So he's like, okay, well, we could try 13. So it just pretty much upscales the pattern. Bottom's 12, top's 13. I'm like, okay. Like, well, maybe I might even need bigger. So I bought a 10-foot piece. I cut it into 14-inch pieces and measured it out. And yeah, 74. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. So that was a very happy accident, because I would have been pretty disappointed with only getting 60 inches around, because I always skein on my 70-inch nitty knotty. So, and yeah, this spins pretty well. So it's a little wobbly here, but it cost me, even with the mistake, it probably only cost $20. So $20 for adjustable Swift, not too shabby. Maybe 25, I don't know, but it was not $100. So. And then with the leftover, actually, and when we picked up the PVC pieces, I knew I needed to finish my set of nitty knotties. So I had my 34. I had most of the pieces for 3 nitty knotties, but I didn't have all the pieces. I didn't have like these connectors and the caps. So I bought a couple connectors and caps. So now I have my 34-inch, which my Sharpies are wiping off. So that's my 1 yard. And yeah, the sizes are just a touch off, but they still work just fine. my 56-inch, so this is my 1.5 yards, which would have worked on the original pattern, what the original tutorial was called for, but I don't use this one a ton. I use it sometimes. And then my 2-yard 72-inch, or 70-inch, so it's supposed to be 72, but it's 70. So now I have my 3 nitty knotties all completed, because yeah, I had the center bar, and I had the end pieces. I didn't have the connectors and the caps, so I got those. So that was the one project, and that kind of went simultaneously while we were working on the other projects. Like, the other project was some DIY wool combs, and these guys are scary. So here you go. It's pretty much a bazillion nails shoved into a piece of wood. And these were not the easiest thing to make either. And the epoxy on the back is still a little sticky, so I have wool over it. But I don't care. They work. They work pretty well. I mean, I've never had experience with real combs, so I guess I don't know, I guess in comparison, but they seem to do what I needed them to do. So what this is, and again, we followed another, you know, it's kind of a half tutorial. It was like they made them and they're like, hey, well, this is kind of how we did it. So it wasn't like designed to be a tutorial. It was kind of like from memory, this is how we did it. So we ran into a few hiccups. First of all, we had another not a happy accident with this one. So my dad measured out all the holes, and I went over to the drill press and started drilling the holes. And then he started working on the Swift. So I drilled out all holes. There's 65 holes in each handle, or each comb. So, and yeah, my arm's a little sore because from like holding the wood down, I'm like tense, you know, I'm like holding it straight because I can't remember the last time I've used a drill press, probably once in like college or something. Some college class, but so we get all the holes in, and then we start putting the nails in. He starts putting the nails in. I think he started putting the nails in when I was on my way to go pick up the other piece of PVC. Yeah, because then he called me. He's like, "Hey, I split the wood." Like, what? So he's hammering the nails in. These are finished nails, and ideally finished nails are supposed to kind of go flush with the wood. So he starts to hammer them in to try to get them flush. And yeah, these holes are only 1/4 inch apart. So it split the wood because he hammered it in too hard. So he's like, do they have more wood there? It was at an Ace Hardware. Like, you know, they don't. They don't have that kind of wood here. So what turns out we had enough. Because the handles on the original one were like 1 foot long. So we really didn't need handles that long. So we had to make another one. And we had to drill all the holes again. He drilled the holes in the redo, but and then he just hammered lightly until the nail was sitting on top. Because then you cover it with epoxy and let it dry. So yeah, I did these on Saturdays, and I let it sit all day yesterday. But they don't tell you in the tutorial as well, and you know, if you look, you'd notice it, but you just didn't think about it at the time. You got to put this handle. You're attaching the handle to the back of the head. Well, the epoxy, you know, we just poured it on and it covered up this whole part. So then we had to chisel it out, and then my dad cut himself with a knife. So felt really bad. So yeah, it was a day. So I'm very happy that they work. I told my dad, I'll tell you they work anyways, even if they don't, because you know, he was kind of hoping that they'd work too. So the other thing is these finish nails. Which one's the really bad one? This one. So there's 2 rows of 3.5 inch, and then there's a row of 2.5 inch. The 2.5 inch nails are all nice in a row, perfectly aligned. The 3.5 inch, as you can see, are not. They are varying in very different sizes there. I mean, they're all over the place. And they're crooked, you know, but they don't lay in straight. That's not really pertinent, I don't think. I mean, like I said, they seem to work okay. But they don't look as smooth as they could. So the second comb, I actually hand-picked the nails more. They're a little bit better. Still still a little off, but they're heavy. I did one chunk in my living room floor, and it was a little tricky trying to use both, combs. So I ended up doing another sample in the garage, and I clamped one down like you see in kind of the tutorial. A lot of tutorials, one of them's clamped to the table. That worked a lot better. But I'll show you what I did. So this, and then I used buttons for dizzes. And sorry, this DIY is turning into a little bit into spinning, but it's relevant. So here's 2 buttons with varying shapes of holes. When I first tried to diz the fiber off my hackle, which turned out to be a disaster, I used this big hole, and yeah, I think it's too big. So this is the little kind of chunk that came off, and it's kind of came out funky, I think. And it might be partially this fiber. I think this fiber just, but it's ready to spin. It seems like the fiber is very crimpy. So yeah, it just looks, and this is the BFL. But it's ready to spin. You can spin off that. And it looks relatively net-free. A few little pieces in there that need to be picked out. So then, but it worked really well for this one. And this is the Rommeldale. And this I used the smaller button. Because after I did that, I'm like, that looks a little funky. And this is the one I also did in the garage with it clamped. So this turned out really good. So this is my combed top, pretty much. Ready to spin. Yeah, these are just little samples. I did have a lot of waste, and I think a lot of that's going to come with just practice and time, just figuring out the best way to use all these tools. And but maybe they just had a lot of waste in it, because like the waste did have a lot of neps and VM in it. Vegetable matter. This Rommeldale has a lot of VM in it, so this doesn't. So I will try this again with the smaller button. But both of these are perfectly spinnable, and it'll be a little easier I feel like it'll be a little easier and faster to spin these bigger chunks than one lock at a time. So, but I gotta finish what's on the wheel first. So that's my DIY. So I was very excited about these. And I will post links to the tutorials that I used. And again, read them thoroughly if you ever attempt them, because some of the things that, like I said, those were called for 12-inch arms on the PVC, but that wasn't big enough for me. So you really go, and I didn't even think about that. I just assumed it was going to be big enough. But so luckily, we screwed it up, so I actually measured it. And the combs, yeah, there were just a few things that were like, that you should have mentioned this and should have mentioned that. So just always look through your tutorial from start to finish and make sure you can visualize how that's supposed to work. So that was all I had for DIY. And up next is spinning. So obviously I got my spinning tools. You saw my little nests. I'm so close. Hopefully maybe I'll sit down and finish that today. I'm so close to finishing my purple pink fiber stash braid that I got from Jen. So I'm going to 2-ply it. I've kind of decided I'm just going to 2-ply it. So I'm almost done with the singles, and it's all in one bobbin. I'm just going to apply it from a center pole ball and have some pretty purple pink stuff. So I think it's going to turn out great. So I'm hopefully going to be borrowing some hand cards from my friend Kim, who I went to Fiber Fest with. She's Chasing Acorns on Etsy. She does yarn dyeing and makes project bags and stuff, so check out her Etsy shop. She has a show coming up too in West Branch, Michigan, so I can't remember what it's called. I'm going to be busy that weekend, but I would love, that sounded like a fun little festival, so in Upper Michigan. So, but if you're in Upper Michigan and you're going to that festival, I think it's called the, I'll put a link to it. I can't remember what it's called. But go visit her and say hi. So But she has some spare carders, hand cards, so hoping some of this waste that I'm getting from the combs and from the flicking and stuff, maybe I can card some of it up. Let's see. It'd be good to practice. Maybe I'll just card up some of the other stuff just for practice, because I've never really used hand cards. I kind of joked, I'll pick them up from you, and then we're going to have video chat so you can show me how to use them. So, I need to work on my spindle some more. I'm not really sure what I want to do. So, this was, I started the two-toned Rommeldale on the spindle. I don't know if I want to continue with that, and I was plying on the fly. So I'd like to like make something, I think, but I don't know what. I really just don't know. This is the problem with the Rommeldale. So I sorted it all. And that was another project I did this week. I sat on the porch waiting for the bus to come and sorted some of this. And so I have a box full of all the brown. So this is all the dark brown. And that's what this was after it was carded. So just pretty dark brown. Some flecks of white and beige in there. And then there's the box of like the mixed bag. So we got the two-toned stuff. We've got some like silvery brown, and then we got white. So there was a handful of just white cream. There's a bunch of this kind of mixed two-tone stuff. And then there's some darker brown mixed in with some silver kind of. I don't know how would I want to do it. If I want to like, I don't know. I just don't know. I just don't know. This will be easy. This is all brown. Okay, and there's a lot of it. So that's good. But like, okay, do I want to put that all on put this stuff on the spindle? Like the two tones that I started and just continue with that and make that kind of two-tony weird stuff? Do I want to then maybe do... I mean, I have to measure to see how much I get, I guess. I mean, if do I have a couple ounces of this and a couple ounces of this? Do two singles and ply it to make kind of a stripy barber pole kind of? Or do I want to like alternate, make stripes, you know, and then... I don't know! I feel like there's just too many options. So, that's that. At least I organized that. And it's ready, kind of ready to go. It's got a lot, it does have a lot of VM in it, veggie matter in it, so I don't know if I'm going to have to flick it out a little bit before I comb it. Like I said, most of it seemed, from these pieces, most of it seemed to come out. There's still a few little bits in here, but that's normal, so I don't know. So, not a lot of spinning news except for my DIY stuff, but just coming along. So, lastly for crafty stuff is stash. We got another friend of the show, Kate. She's kind of become my new chatting sock buddy. We've been exchanging emails back and forth about knitting socks, and she's had a lot of good tips. And she's kind of gone through the same process that I'm going through, trying to figure out what's the right way to knit a sock for her. But we were talking, and she said she had a lot of leftover like stash stuff that she's just not going to use. So if I wanted it, because I mentioned I wanted to knit some more matching socks for me and my daughter. And she's like, oh, well, I got some stuff if you want to play around with it. So we got some knit picks, imagination. So I'm try to go through this pretty quick, but it's nice purple, kind of a purpley blue. So that's really pretty. Then some Serenity sock, which I'm very familiar with because I've been using a lot. So this is the Tanzanite color. So that's pretty. So this would be great. And actually I thought, you know, maybe we can make some socks for David. We could all three have matching socks. It's a little girly, but it's not super girly. He's at that age where he likes pink, he likes purple, it's fine. He wouldn't be embarrassed. This one's really cool. This could be a fun matching trio too. She sent me an email with what most of these are, so I don't remember which this one was. It might have been another knit picks, but this is like bright orange and red and green and yellow. And this was some more knit picks. And this was a ollie, actually. any of these would make good candidates for matching socks, and there's enough that I think I could squeak out 3 pairs. I still need to make one pair for David. This was called Wicked Witch. Ooh, this is really cool. So that's like a green and purple. Oh, I gotta use this for Halloween. This is perfect. We got other nitpicks, and this is merino alpaca. I've never worked with alpaca either, but it's a blend. So Enchanted Forest. Nice. So let's look at the green, variegated green, and then I thought this was funny. This is, and I forgot to look. This is the Plymouth Yarn Company Happy Feet, but I'm telling you, this looks exactly the same as this. Like, this looks like the same base as this. I mean, they look like, and I think I have a color that looks like the same. So I don't know if, I'm confused. If they use the same company for their yarn, or what, if they're like an offshoot, or what. But this looked identical. I have to pull out the other one upstairs and see. But this was spun in Peru. What about this one? Does it say? Made in Peru. Huh. Look at that. So yeah. 90% superwash merino, 10% nylon. Totally the same. They are totally the same. Oh, anyways, this one's pretty. I don't think it has a colorway. Color 10. How funny. So they must obviously get their yarn from the same place, or if an offshoot, I don't know. But so that was all that, so that's going to keep me busy for a while. And I'm sure I'll have leftovers for my sock blanket, but in case I didn't, she sent me a bag full of minis. She told me what they were, but I still haven't written them down. But oh, that's cool. I love these bright colors, but this one, oh, this one I love this one forever. This is the Doctor Who, what was it? The Exploding TARDIS, what was it? Doctor Who and Vincent. I can't remember the actual colorway name, but this was pretty much the Exploding TARDIS colorway. So it's got like splashes of orange in there, the yellow, the blue, and it's sparkly. I like anything that sparkles. So this, I am excited. So I've been coveting this colorway for just to buy to make something, but now I at least can put it in my blanket. So that's really cool. And then some bright, these are all real fun bright colors, and then some pinky purple. So yeah, I got lots of work to do. I have lots of stuff, lots of squares to put in my blanket now. I'm very excited. Oh, and this one is this kind of a cool reddish pinkish. So lots of stuff for my blanket. See, this is why I couldn't do upstairs. I have all this just big boxes of stuff. So, and so yeah, that was very nice. I'm very excited for that, and I need to organize my shelving upstairs. I'm actually, it's getting a little tight, and I keep getting all these new little extras to put in there, so my little shelves are getting kind of full. So yeah, I'll get to it someday. So last but certainly not least is my week in review. So if this is the part where you tend to skedaddle, then I hope you have a good week. If not, then stick around for a few more minutes and I will just discuss what I did this week. It was a big week this week. Emily had her first week of school, like I said, so yeah, it was an odd week. It just felt it was an odd schedule, and I just felt so weird. It just was so different. So Monday was Labor Day, so Tuesday me and my husband took her to school for an orientation day, and it was only an hour. We met her teacher, we saw the class, you know, we went through a big list of like everything she needed to know. Like, she has a little locker, she's got to put a binder in her backpack, and she's got to know where to put her lunch bag when lunch is over, and she's got to know where to go when she gets off the bus, and like all these things that was just like kind of overwhelming to me, so I couldn't imagine what they were like for her. So we went through all that, and then Jim went to work. We had taken David to school that morning too, to preschool, luckily, so we didn't have to drag him around too. So Jim left for work right after that, and I took Emily out to lunch, and we went to the Coney Island, got hot dogs, and, you know, had a pretty regular day after that. So Wednesday was her first official day of school, and I, for some reason, kept thinking it was a half day. I thought Wednesday was a half day for her, and so I kind of kept telling her it was a half day until, like, Tuesday night, I was reading over the form again, and it said, your child's first full day. I'm like, oh, okay, Emily, it's a full day tomorrow. So, but I still on edge, like, what if it was a half day? What if that was a typo? And I emailed the teacher the night before, but I never heard back, and it turns out the email had gone into her spam folder. So, yeah. So I kind of waited around and looking, like, when the bus would have came for the half day, I kind of sat and waited a little bit, like, I have an app that I was looking at and just kind of hung around a little bit to see if the bus came, which it didn't. And then I went and got David from school. So yeah, so I was just kind of anxious I didn't really get much done Wednesday. I don't think that's the day I sewed. I think it was Friday I was sewing. Yeah, so I was just kind of like, just weird. It was just weird. So she came home, she got off the bus, and she had a good day, so that was good. She had fun. She didn't want to get on the bus. Well, she didn't really not want to get on the bus in the morning. She was just kind of like freaked out when the bus came. I kind of just shoved her on, and she kind of like, and the bus driver got her to turn around so I could take a picture. And then you know, the way she went. And then David proceeded to cry that he wanted to go on the bus. And that he didn't want to go to his school, and he didn't like his school, and I want to go to Emily's school, and I want to be Emily. I want to go on the bus. I want to go on the bus. I'm like, oh. So yeah. So then I took him to school, and then, yeah, so Wednesday I was just kind of like, okay, I don't know what to do with myself. Kind of just like, it was weird. So then Thursday, she didn't have school. So they did a staggered start. So half the class came on Wednesday and the other half came on Thursday. So she didn't have school Thursday, so it was kind of a nice day because I felt like I really missed her on Wednesday. So Thursday, you know, I had fun. It's kind of like that absence makes the heart grow fonder. You know, when she's here, she drives me nuts. But when she's gone, I miss her. So we went to the library, and we had a pretty good morning. Not the greatest afternoon. She was her true to form, you know, self that drives me nuts by the afternoon. So that was fine. And we went out for ice cream later after dinner. I wanted to go out for ice cream, or no, was that Friday? Now I'm getting confused. But I wanted to go out for ice cream on Wednesday. First day of school, first full day, you know, I'm like, hey, eat your dinner, we'll go out for ice cream. Well, no one ate their dinner, and David's like, I don't want ice cream. I'm like, what's wrong with you kids? So we didn't go out for ice cream on Wednesday. So maybe I think it was Friday. Because, yeah, we had leftovers on, yeah, that's right, because Thursday was curriculum night at school, so I was back to the school again to talk to the teacher and kind of figure out what they're learning this year. So then Friday, she did not want to get on the bus. She was like, I don't want to go on the bus, and she was scared and whatever. So I shoved her on the bus, and she was fine. Came home. Finally the teacher realized my email had gone in the trash. She emailed me back and told me Emily was kind of sad at lunch. I'm like, great. So I was expecting her to get off the bus kind of mopey, but big smile. She was happy. She said she had a good day. She told me she was sad at lunch, but otherwise she had a good day. So then we went out for ice cream that night. So then I went out shopping with my dad for parts for Saturday. And then Saturday, yeah, and then my mom called Friday, and she's like, I'm working a craft show on Friday, or a flea market, like garage sale on Friday, and my stepdad's working, and she's like, can you come help me? So it's an hour and a half away from here. I'm like, oh, and I knew I was already going to be gone Saturday doing the DIY stuff, so I'm like, oh, let me talk to Jim. So I talked to him, he's like, alright, that's fine. It's like, okay. So, because she wasn't going to do it if I didn't help, because she didn't have any help. And it was kind of a lot of stuff to unpack and then pack back up and stuff. But, so, Saturday I did, so that's my weekend. So Saturday I spent all day with my dad doing DIY stuff. Saturday morning we attempted to go to this family event. It was called Barn Days. Usually it's a nice little, you know, they have hay rides and a petting farm and activities for the kids and blah, blah, blah. Well, we get there, it's freezing, which we knew it was cold, but then by the time and it was like a quick drive, but it was cloudy and stuff. When we got there, it started raining. And we sat in the car for a minute, like, maybe it'll pass. It was like, you know, sprinkly rain. we were like, all right, let's just go. Let's just go. So we get out of the car and it's raining. We don't have coats. Kids are freezing already. It's been like 5 minutes. We go into this tent, do some really cheesy carnival games, and I'm like, all right, well, we're calling it. That's it. So then we went to Panera for lunch and got broccoli cheddar soup. So that was kind of a bust. But then, yeah, we came home and then I pretty much left to go to my dad's. And by the time I left, it wasn't raining anymore. It was still cold, though. It was still cold, but the rain had stopped and it was getting a little bit nicer. So did my DIY stuff all day. Didn't get home until, yeah, after the kids were in bed. So I came and missed bedtime. It was like 8:30 or something. So that was a busy day. And then Sunday, I had to get up bright and early and drive to Lansing, which is an hour and a half from here, to this flea market. So I met up with my mom. We set up everything and sat there. That's pretty much it. That's when I got most of my knitting done on the sack, the paw truck. So did all my knitting on Sunday and sat there for a while. And then my stepdad got out of work and came out there. So about two-ish. So I hung out for another hour or so, and she's like, you can go, I know you have a drive home, so, because it went until 4. So yeah, I drove home, and by the time I got home, they had already been packed, and they had packed and left before I even got home, so yeah, I mean, it was a kind of a long drive for me, so I'm glad I got to leave a little early, because if I would have left at like 4:30, I wouldn't have got home till like 6, and yeah, so, and we had cereal for dinner, and put the kids to bed pretty much. So the kids were really wound up. They didn't nap very well. So yeah, we just put them to bed and then we just vegged out the rest of the night. So our sink is broken, hence why we had cereal for dinner. So that's on the agenda this week. My husband tried to get parts yesterday, but I think he said he got the wrong ones and he had the kids with him. So we gotta fix our kitchen sink. So that's been awkward. So I'm not sure what we're gonna do about that yet. And yeah, so this morning is Monday, and I don't think I said the date in the beginning. It's Monday, September 15th. September 14th, 2015. Emily did not want to go on the bus again today, but of course, shoved her on the bus. David again. I don't want to go on the bus. I don't want to go to my school. I don't like my school. I want to go to Emily's school. All the way to school. So, and here we are, recording my podcast. So I barely made it under an hour, but I will call that a win. I had a lot to go over today. So hope you enjoyed the show this week, and if you're on Periscope, stay tuned for Wednesday. I'll try to pop in and do a broadcast on Wednesday. So until then, I hope everyone has a good week and gets to do some crafts and fun things this week, and I will see you next time.